You're the only good thing. So. Oh, yeah, it's, Here. What's the thing that you go on and you can do the report a problem?
Yeah.
Oh, go.
Go.
Hey, Sherry.
Eleven.
We took the whole page of the different
Wait a minute.
cities, you know, we had, we pulled things out, and I briefed, we pulled them out, I typed them, it's our first rough draft.
Oh, no, okay, the company was so much go to it, everybody just keeps telling you, you'll go, so don't fight it.
Oh. Oh, you gave me, huh?
Yep, but I decided that I'm gonna have enough excitement tonight. You- What is this?
Do that. I can see everybody's faces.
See the owl.
Oh, that guy, there's always one guy
Those
out.
guys back there.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. So I don't know if the owls.
Its little eyes are on.
The
Eyes on. Yeah, its little lights.
You have an extra copy? Agenda?
Yeah. Linda doesn't have that. You look at it.
Yeah.
Code. Run a copy of the agenda for me, please.
Hey, how you doing, partner? Good, sir. How are you? Good. Good to see you. Wow.
Under here.
You gotta have. Stay.
You know what?
Okay.
It's still in simple.
Yeah.
Playing golf, I said.
See the agenda just.
Same.
Okay, it's, call the meeting to order, April 14th, 2025. Roll call, roll call.
Belkey,
Here.
Bennett,
Here.
Cornish,
Here.
Farrell. Stevenson,
Here.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes, I'm here.
here, and Whitty.
Here.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the omnibus agenda, I do need to make a motion to move the plan commission up prior to the audience. Someone make that approval or motion?
Move approval of the omnibus agenda and with this amendment to move planning commission report to just prior to audience participation.
I'll second.
Roll call?
What are we doing?
Okay. Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes,
Stevenson,
Yeah.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Whitty.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and now the approval of the omnibus agenda.
move approval of the agenda as modified.
Okay, Washington,
Okay.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington,
Yeah.
Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey.
Yes.
Okay, it's time for audience comments.
No.
No, never mind. It's time for the plan commission. So you can't
Old
change things on me. Thanks.
Old habits are hard to
Yeah.
break.
Yeah, they are.
Well, first of all, before I start here real quick, thank you for doing that. I can make my baseball game tonight now.
Oh, wow. The world.
Playing baseball is the world to me.
That's right.
So anyway, also thank you to the two ladies sitting up front for all their service the last few years and support of the planning commission. In case nobody else tells you that, I will.
Well, thanks.
Okay, so we had two official items on our agenda recommending, both were recommended for approval. The first one, and I think you have a handout with the particular details, but kind of to summarize, 425 West Main, it was a special use permit request for a home occupation or a home business. You know, parking's not an issue. The applicant was Ellen Leaf. You might recognize her name. She used to run the business on the Brick Street, so she's moved back to town or moved to 425, and that's where she would conduct that business. So if there's any questions, I'll answer them, but I wasn't gonna get into a ton of detail since you had the printouts. AJ, go ahead, because you were on the plan commission and at
Well,
the meeting.
I'm just here to represent her. She couldn't be here tonight.
But there was quite a bit of, there was all support from the community and the neighbors, so. Any controversy, and it's only good for her, so if she sells the property, it doesn't go with the property.
If she quits the business.
Or quits that business, she would have to reapply. So. That's first one. Second one was a certificate of appropriateness for Alvarado Healthcare. A sign in the historic district has to go through the process. The sign is certainly in compliance, in keeping with the historic district. It would be on the east side of the building. And that was all reviewed, and again, no comments to the negative. So I didn't have anything else.
And they're sprucing up putting like polished brass letters on it instead of dark ones. They're putting different lights on it and stuff like that, but
Yeah, they submitted a whole packet. It was.
yeah,
pretty
it was quite
comprehensive.
extensive and it was very well done.
So those were the two actions. I'll let you get to that at whatever point in the agenda you do that. If you have any questions for me, I'll answer that, and then I wanted to go over a couple other things. Not, I will move on. So we had a couple discussion topics. This has been oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand.
There's a place on the agenda to approval, so we can make a motion to approve the sign and the use.
You want to do each one separate?
Yes, that's separate.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I was over here and didn't see your right hand go up.
Okay.
So we're gonna approve the recommendation for the special use permit.
I'm going to move that we accept the planning commission report on the special use permit.
In a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Roll call.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington. Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
And I'll move the approval for the sign on that property. The recommendation. on-
And exterior design.
And exterior design, right. And then approval of the exterior design and sign as recommended by the planning commission.
And who was second?
I'll second.
Okay. Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington. Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And
You're
then,
approving the plan commission's reports, directing us to draft
Right.
what would need to be, got it.
That's correct. There have to be resolution.
okay,
So we had a couple other discussion topics. One will certainly be on our agenda for the next meeting. And that's accessory use buildings, and particularly with respect to the heights of those accessory use buildings. So 15 feet is the restriction. I think, I've been on the plan commission a long time. It's been that way much longer than my lifetime. But we think it's just never been really addressed specifically, but we have done a little bit of research. There's a couple communities we looked at, and their restrictions are not any larger than the primary use facility. So if your house is 2 stories and it's 18 feet, you can go to 18 feet on an accessory building as long as it meets all the other requirements. So we're gonna have a hearing on that and may have a recommendation to, now the ordinance committee, I think, probably has to, do they have to does it go through them before the council, or would it come back to the council for clarification?
I think it goes from your recommendations to the ordinance committee. They make sure that it goes into the right places and anything they want to modify it. And then they present that. to the
Okay,
council.
all right. So we've issued there's been a lot of variance requests on this in the past, and, you know, I don't know what the history is. Some were granted, some weren't maybe, but this would, I think, be a good upgrade to come up, whatever we decide, would certainly be an upgrade to what we're doing now. And we can be a little more consistent and avoid those special, variances, which don't go through us, those go through the zoning board. So, that was one item. The other item was we on the plan commission had gotten an email from a citizen. I think I had it in there, but about the front of the
Brick Street.
Brick Street Bar. Parlor, I'm sorry. And I did actually get to go through it the other day when I was up there. I didn't happen to be there at the right time, I guess. But it was specifically about the ledges that are in front, and whether there was a discussion about whether that was historical, but more so it would foster loitering and the like. But certainly, we had a good, robust discussion, had some comments, mostly in favor. But it wasn't up for approval at this point. The awning or the overhang got replaced for safety reasons, the same way it's happened before. It would normally go through the certificate of appropriateness, but it's basically replacing what was there except for the pitch. And that was it was potentially gonna fall on somebody, so it had to be done. That went through the building inspector and all that, so that's why it didn't go through the certificate of appropriateness process. But we didn't take any action on it. It was just we got the notice from the citizens, so we discussed it from our standpoint. And then next meeting, we'll probably have some other things on the agenda. I think that's I'll get with Luann before she's done, and our next meeting, I think, is the 3rd or 4th.
May 1st.
No. Okay. All right, so that's right, it is, you're right. Okay, so that is all I had.
Go play ball.
I am going to. Thank you.
Okay, now we're to audience for the comments. We ask that if you have a comment, come up to the gate area or the fence, state your name, and you have 5 minutes to discuss. Anybody? Well, it looks like you're the only body. Come on up.
I guess I'll read this, okay.
Oh, now,
Hold on, don't start yet, let me find it. And I'm gonna try not to talk too fast, but you know, I only have 5 minutes.
I know.
If I don't finish, I'll finish it on the
State your
agenda.
name, so we
They're
know.
that passed this.
I'm Bethany Williams, I'm one of the owners of Creekside, and here's most of my business partners as well back here, so. And then we provided those papers to you guys just we might not need them till later when we're on the agenda, but I just wanted to have them out for you guys.
Okay.
So we just wanted to fill you in on what's going on and where we're at and what we're having some issues with, so. All right, in October of 2024, my partners and myself purchased 800 West McAllister Street in Lebanon with the intent to open Creekside Bar and Grill. On October 25th was our first correspondence with the Lebanon Sewer Department. The sewer department came out to our building and informed my partners and myself that the existing septic system should be no problem to use for our bar and grill. We then hired Lydican Plumbing to come out and run all of our plumbing lines from our kitchen and bathroom. We also had our septic system cleaned and serviced when ultimately it was not necessary. When it was time to hook up the lines, we were told we also needed an inspection from the county as well. Jacob from the county came out and his words were, "You can't use septic here. The sewer department knows better than that, and they should have directed you to us right away." So again, we contacted Lebanon Sewer Department. We were told on numerous occasions that even though we are in city limits, that sewer is not even available to us. So we contacted 4 different sewer contractors because we were told we had to run our own system. We gave all of our contractors the Lebanon Sewer Department's information and the county representative Jacob's information. Each contractor contacted us and began growing tired working with us. They all explained that between the Lebanon Sewer Department and the county sewer department, that no one could get on the same page, no one had any idea what was going on, and could not get a straight answer out of any parties. I was instructed by 2 contracting companies to track down the Lebanon mayor and head of the Lebanon Sewer Department in a group message. I did just that on February 6th. I contacted Penny and Miss Sherry Wright, and the next day I was met with a phone call from one of my business partners that an employee of the sewer department contacted one of my business partners and said something along the lines of, to never put those 2 in a message together again, because Penny doesn't like the mayor and was upset that I sent that message. We were told that there's an ordinance that states Lebanon must bring sewer to our property line. We brought it to city council after months and months of back and forth. The council voted yes to help us explore options for the sewer. Immediately following the vote yes from every council member, Rich, thank you again, council and Mayor Sherry. You've been more than helpful in accommodating to us while navigating the situation. The head of the sewer department turned to me and my partners and said, it's still going to take at least 6 to 12 months. While the council went into executive session that night, I was met alongside my partners by the head of the sewer department outside about options to help us with a possible abatement on our sewer bills. We decided to hold off on the engineering because the head of the water department told us that the city lawyer later told us it could be as long as 18 months now. We were also told in the same conversation that this would cost the city well over $100,000. We have secured a bid by Lydican Plumbing that would cost under half of what the city expected their cost to be and could be done in 3 to 4 weeks after the permits are signed. Now, why on earth could Lebanon not accomplish this? We are 6 months into contacting the city and we've made 0 progress. When meeting with Penny and Sherry, we were told by Penny that since it is private sewer, that they cannot help and that she misspoke. A sewer abatement was actually not possible. As of today, the manhole has still not been found for us to even hook onto. Lebanon wants us to be on the hook for the whole project and any crop damage that is done on their own city easement. Lebanon, you have backed us into a corner. Had these permits been done in a timely manner, this wouldn't be a conversation. Imagine spending all of your savings and livelihood on the line, and not just my livelihood, but all these people sitting behind me. Now we are sitting here tonight waiting for a vote for the permit to be signed for us to even get sewer. This permit has been in the hands of the sewer department for over 2 weeks now. The sewer department wants 0 responsibility for these sewer lines, even on your own city easement. This is directly off your city website. That's that ordinance, that your ordinance reads. And the sewer department is now rewording the definitions in your own section to weasel your way out of this too. Sherry, Mr. Whitty, City Council, you have been voted by the people in this town to make the rules and make your departments follow these rules. You all sitting in front of me have the power to change this problem now and going forward. It is no secret that this was a problem for Jessica. This was a problem for Ginger Ales. This was a problem with the Sportsplex, the greenhouse. How many businesses lost is it going to take for someone to make a change? We've invested over $1 million into this business, $1 million. We are sitting on an empty property right now because we cannot flush our toilets 171 days later. 171 days later, we are still nowhere. We were supposed to open in March. We will generate some of the highest sales tax back into this town. What is Lebanon doing to invest back into us? The sewer department has backed us into a corner. We have to install our own private sewer, pay for that sewer, maintain that sewer, even on your city property. And then after doing all of that, we have to pay a sewer bill on our own sewer lines to the city. The situation has cost us irreplaceable hours and a boatload of money. There is no reason with the situation that a new ordinance or a variance cannot be written to make our sewer line city sewer after they are ran, especially because we were set to open in March and have been pushed back for who knows how long currently. That could offer Martin Brower and all of the TIF 2 properties that were just voted on all sewer taps like they've been offered in city limits. Also, the sewer department has stated to IDOT and Mr. Nedemeyer that the lawyer will never go for this. The lawyer will never sign off on this. When did a lawyer hired from another town become the end-all say-all here? Last time I checked, it's the city mayor and the council that make the decisions for the city. What qualifications does the city attorney have to make regarding city and state sewer laws and regulations? Google? We've been patient. We're 171 days into this project and still cannot flush our toilets or use our kitchen. Unfortunately, we've been pushed to retain Kevin Dawson at this point. We would like to get this all handled in-house and open the city business to better the city. If we cannot come to an agreement quickly, will be forced to go the legal route with Dawson Law Firm and Muscuda. He's watching the video tonight. He's already been retained. We really don't want to go that route. We just want to open this business. It benefits everybody in this room. I cannot believe we can't flush our toilets 171 days later, and we're not even, there's no end in sight. There's no end in sight. We are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars of income a month because we have no sewer. I've been asking since October 25th. So we just hope that we can come to a resolution here tonight, not get pushed to the next meeting in 2 weeks and 2 more. We've got to get this business open for everyone in town. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else want to follow that? We have to talk fast. Okay, I guess not.
Yeah.
Alderpersons, anyone have anything?
We've been working on the cemetery rules. We had rules from 4 different cities plus citizenry and from Lebanon. And we have grabbed several ideas from each one. And now we have the first rough draft of new cemetery regulations. We're gonna be having additional meetings before we come up. And then we're gonna present them to the general public for them to have another opportunity to inject their thoughts and ideas.
Thank you. Yes, Mr.
Yes, I was contacted, asking whether or not, with the change in the clerk's position for 4 days that it requires, by ordinance, could it be 5 days, of training on behalf of the new position for the new clerk?
We'll talk about that later.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Is now the time to start talking about preset, or is that something you just want until we get to that?
We're going down there at the bottom, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? No? Okay, we'll start committee reports, streets and alleys, Sean.
I'm gonna have Cody come around and he's gonna be my end all be all subject matter expert on
Okay,
all of these 3 items that we're just gonna present. And if we would like to move forward, let's move forward on it. If not, let's say something so we're not talking about it a month from now.
okay. Yes, Tony. But Tony, it's not Cody, it's not Terry, it's Tony. Or Cody.
You go one item at a time, just to make sure so that we're not.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do 1 item at a time.
All right, so the first one here is going to be the SRTS. It's the Safe Routes to School. Schools, we've been working on this project for a little bit, and obviously the way it sounds is we're going to connect sidewalks from the school moving through town to make sure people, kids, parents, whoever are walking to schools aren't tripping over any of the sidewalks that the trees have been creating issues with. Any questions on anywhere besides what's gonna go south corner? It's gonna be in the corner of River Corner and Shoots. Be making some connections over in that area. I believe this is 3 years in the making. This will be year 3, so we finally getting it narrowed in. Takes time for these grants. So we're excited to bring that to the table. Any questions?
Is that through a grant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, SRTS, Safe Routes to School.
I move that we prepare all the appropriate documents. So that we can move forward.
Second.
Because there'll probably need to be a resolution
I believe so.
and,
Welcome.
and the grant, is a grant, the school district grant or city grant?
It's through us.
City grant.
So it's just like your
Okay.
CMAC and all the other grants.
That's fine, because if it was a school district grant, then we'd also have to do a,
If it was a school district grant, I wouldn't be doing this.
it would be, well, it would have been a joint venture. But-
Yeah, this one isn't joint. We did look at the joint, we did.
Because then we would have to do a intergovernmental agreement.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Stevenson,
Yes or no, sir?
yes or no to the Safe
Yeah.
Routes to School grant?
Engineering.
Yeah.
Tracus,
Yes,
Washington, Whitty,
Yes.
Dolkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes,
passes.
Okay, second one.
Go ahead with the second one, Cody.
All right, number two on here is a approval for TWM maintenance cost. Engineering resolution for the use of MFT funds for maintaining designated streets and highways, deteriorating trees. So in 2026, we're going to have the Herman Street project that goes from 50 down to McAllister. With that being done, it's taking care of sidewalks and curb gutter and overlayment of asphalt. Before we get to 2026, got with the Illinois Department of Transportation and found that we could use some of the MFT funds to take care of dangerous trees in the city of Lebanon. It's not a surprise to anyone, hopefully, in here that we have issues with trees in town. This allows us to use money that gets appropriated every year from the state to the city, so that we're not taking taxpayers' money that could be used somewhere else to take out trees that are in town. So the trees that are in between the roads and the sidewalks, the 60, the 80, the 100-foot pin oak trees that are pushing the sidewalks up, we're wanting to remove these before we have a beautiful road and sidewalks put in, and that they heave up the progress that we're already making. We're trying to be proactive instead of reactive to this. I don't remember what the project cost was for Herman Street, but I know it's probably close to $1 million. If we're gonna spend that kind of money, it'd be really silly not to take the trees out that are shoving sidewalks up, because 15 years down the road, if I'm here or not, it's gonna be someone else's issue. So I'm gonna try and address that now. Any questions?
Is the resolution written?
Yes.
Good. I move approval.
Second.
Okay.
Trika,
Yes.
Washington. Yeah. Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Last one.
Last but not least, here we have the approval of annexing Belleville Street from Route 50 to the city jurisdiction at the St. Clair County Route 31 sign. If anybody has any questions on where that starts, the best way to explain it is when you're heading out towards Mr. Stevenson's house on Belleville Street. As soon as you see the center line paving marks, that becomes county road. We're looking to annex that. Reason why, one of the reasons we want to annex this is that it comes so far into the city. Some of these houses are, even though they're in city limits, they're actually a county address. Also, annexing property like that is a value to the city. Every mile of road that we get is more MFT money we're going to acquire over time. So part of growing the city is getting more roads, and more roads means more tax money from the state per mile. So there's a couple things we'd probably discuss. If we want to sit down, I'd like to talk about, there is a rough patch at the end of Belleville Street by 50. See if we can't work on maybe getting that fixed. I would like to annex it, but I would not like to annex some of the problems that are out there that we know are already existing. So maybe we can get a couple of those addressed before we annex.
Is that an IDOT problem?
It'd be a county problem, so we would just have to contact the county and talk to them and say, we would pass this with conditions. So it would be fixing the end of Belleville Street, a couple of the dead trees out there, maybe having them fix that, and for sure the storm drain sewer cover that's been missing for a couple months.
Couple of years. Tony, do we have to get the residents to approve?
Don't know the full process on that, but I would imagine if you're going to annex, we'd have to send everything out, notify just like any other proper annexation. Mike, if I'm steering me in the right direction, I'm going off track here, but I believe there's a whole process. It's just like annexing if we were doing it on our own.
And there could be somebody that doesn't care for that, so we should probably, rather than.
Well,
start-
we have to. We just can't say now you're in the city.
Well,
Well,
I understand that. We also don't need to spend any money either right away.
that could be part of the contract. Is that any of the money that's spent for that annexation they pay for?
We'd like to know what's the benefit to the resident and what's the benefit to the city.
The benefit to the city is O'Fallon's not gonna annex in, and then you have O'Fallon all the way up to your house. The other benefit is motor fuel funds go off of miles per road. So every linear mile that we accumulate as a city is more motor fuel tax that comes in, which means more paving projects, more sidewalks, more infrastructure improvement.
And
City of Highlands done it, City of O'Fallon's done it. Fun fact here is Lebanon was a city before everyone around us, and we're still at 4,400. So we've grown maybe 2,200 people in the last 200 years. Probably time to start growing. A little behind the ball.
And the entry grass will be mowed consistently to where it doesn't look like a jungle.
I got sewer out there.
Yeah.
You got sewer out there. You're gonna need it. Any questions?
So that one, we just need to
We just need
Discuss
approval
further.
to go forward.
I move that we start the process of annexing Belleville Street.
What'd you say now?
I move that we begin the process for annexation of Belleville Street.
We'd like to see you know,
That's what the.
Yeah, Mike
process-
McGinley and I will get together.
we want to see all the
Yeah,
ins and outs
it's the
and
process.
everything.
It's the process.
Let's
Well,
go.
I know it.
There'll be
That's part
several
of
more votes.
Roll, second,
I'll second.
yes,
Okay,
roll call.
Washington. Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yeah.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson,
No,
Trinka.
Yes,
Anything else for streets and alleys?
No, we meet May 5th.
Thank you.
Thanks, Herb. Finance,
nothing tonight, we meet April 21st at 6:30.
okay. Ordinance,
Nothing tonight officially, but we meet, May 5th at 6:30.
water sewer, Pat,
Kenny? Kenny, are you there?
yeah,
Okay. I think we had a discussion over the Kubota and decided that it was already in the budget. And therefore she could go ahead and move forward with.
So the motion
make a motion,
is we
Make a
do,
motion, we do it.
You gotta read the whole
I
thing.
say.
To approve.
All right. All right. Oh, I see. I see. Approve the purchase of a Kubota tractor from Sourcewell for the amount of $14,616.76 for the water and sewer. department.
I say.
any discussion? Roll call,
Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey,
No.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
yes.
Stevenson,
Yeah,
Trinka,
Yes,
Washington.
What, yes, yes.
Six and one. I mean, seven and one. Sorry.
okay, Pat, you're still on,
Last one.
number two, you have anything to, contribute there?
This is for the repair of the McKendree Park Lift Station, which has a discharge pipe, which is blown, has been for over a month, probably going on 2 months now. This is a company, ESA, that's done repair work for us in the past. And the cost to repair that, we have put a bypass in, which would allow us to then not have sewer overflows in that area. We'd be able to pump into a bypass pipe, and that repair is $5,850.
Do we have a, approval for the McDonough?
make a motion,
Make a motion. Make a motion to approve. The McHenry Park lift station repair by ESA.
Second.
I'll second.
roll call,
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Trinka,
yes,
Washington,
Yes.
Whitty.
Yes.
anything else for water and sewer?
No.
Okay, cemetery, Dale,
the meeting will be on May the 5th under a new cemetery chairman.
there you go, health and safety, Ms. Wolverton.
I don't have my signature. Um. Our next meeting will be April 23rd.
I can't hear you.
Our next meeting will be April 21st at 6:30. You skipped over the all the person section,
My apologies.
but
No,
what
you
I
didn't.
wanted.
Oh, no, you
Because
said,
I made a comment.
Yeah.
that's right, he did. He made a
I
comment.
made a comment.
I must have been asleep. But anyway, what I wanted to say was on Plum Street, at the Plum Street Apartments on pole number 39, 1168,
Is that 1158 or 68?
68. There's something wrong with that light,
On the light on that pole,
yes.
Luann will send it in.
what is it doing? Flickering or,
It flickers,
okay,
but not very often.
and what was the number on the pole, Linda, I'm sorry.
Here,
39, 1168.
Okay.
thank you. Health, public property, Ember?
Yes, nothing at this time. We'll meet again on, May 5th, 2025.
Okay. Personnel, Mr. Bennett?
Nothing for this evening. We'll meet again on April 21st, 2025, 6:30.
Okay. Clerk?
Be there, be square.
Okay, this is something that we voted on, oh, well. We voted to approve it after we came out of, your executive session, but we never did the resolution to do it. So this is the resolution establishing the current compensation for city non-union positions, including the superintendent of streets, alleys, and the cemetery department, superintendent of water and sewer department, building inspector / code enforcement official, city collector, and treasurer, including a limit on the salary for the superintendents, which was your $111,000 cap.
So you need discuss it. You need a motion and a second.
I'll move it.
Second,
I'll second it.
roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yeah.
Trinka,
Yes,
Washington,
No, that was just.
Yes.
Whitty,
yes.
Belkey.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Oh, this is a letter I'm supposed to read. It's City of Lebanon, to whom it may concern, the Lebanon Matthew 25 40 Ministry Organization would like to express our appreciation for the use of City Hall and the city garage for our annual clothing drive. People are so very busy that an early drop-off period is critical for our success. We understand that it is an inconvenience having bags dropped off at the entrance and their storage in the garage. Due to the early drop-off option, for 2 weeks, we collected nearly 200 bags of clothing for the clothing drive. The items are sold to Savers by the pound to raise money for the Lebanon Matthew Ministry. Funds are used to help overdue water bills as well as provide food for an average of 50 households each month. Your support of our organization will help us to continue our mission. Respectfully, Jane Cotts, LMNM, Food Pantry Coordinator. This is something we do every year, so that was nice that they wrote a thank you letter. Yeah.
Treasurer.
I'm going to present for approval an ordinance adopting the budget for fiscal year 2025-2026, containing the final fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Believe y'all received a email last week from me with that information. So
So now what's the process?
Well, we need a motion to accept
Motion
it so I
and a
can take it
second.
to the.
Move approval.
Okay, let's see, that's fair.
Did you get any comments from citizens?
Roll call.
Who was the second? Linda, okay, thank you, Linda. Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yeah.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett.
I just,
You said yes? Oh, okay, because there was a noise back there at the same time.
It's a true slamming the door.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, anything else, Larry? All right. I am requesting a mayor pro tem for the day of April 24th, 2025, as I will not be in Lebanon or available all day. Nothing, just during the day. Can't get here from where I'm gonna be. Anybody make a motion for the mayor pro tem?
Who's gonna be the mayor pro
tem?
Okay, George, who did what?
Who's gonna be?
He just
George
made a
just
motion for
nominated,
Charlie.
just suggested Charlie.
Okay, I second.
Okay. Well, then Ms. Washington.
Yeah.
Roll call?
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Trinka,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Whitty,
I'll abstain, I guess.
Belkey,
Yes.
Bennett,
yes.
Cornish.
Okay, I don't have anything else at this time. Chief?
Yes, last week prior to, a couple things, prior to 50 being shut down once again. with all the rain coming in, there was accidents all over, more outside of town than there was inside of town. We were called to assist most all. The first one that started the trigger was an accident on 64. They diverted traffic from there to Reeder Road. Lo and behold, my tractor trailer has an accident there. So then, perfect storm, then we were assisting at 50 at Reeder Road. And there was a couple of rear enders there. And you can't make this up. There was a truck pulling a boat and the tire flew off the trailer pulling the boat. That backed it up. So it was seriously just a convoluted mess. It was terrible. So that was before 50 was shut down and all that rain was coming down. So it was terrible. We've had several accidents in town. Most of all that was out of town, out of our venue, but we were assisting other agencies like they often assist us. Okay, so I want to let everybody know that O'Fallon Police Department, Lebanon Police Department, we do not have the authority to shut 50 down, nor do we have the authority to open 50 up when it is flooded. That is done solely and only by IDOT. So we call them and tell them large over the road or whatever, but they are the ones that make the decision to close it. They are the ones that make the decision to open it. I can't do it. Neither can the O'Fallon. So I want everybody to understand that. Second thing, the weather's getting nicer and we're getting busier downtown. The bars are busy. We are taking enforcement action. Recently, we've been citing people for public intoxication, open containers, and believe it or not, somebody urinating on the sidewalk.
No.
Call me crazy,
No.
but it happened. Also want to let you know that Officer Greg Cox, and I think he did this for the city before, but I'm not 100% sure. But Officer Greg Cox is now certified, recertified, I should say, with CPR and AED. He's now an instructor there. He had his recertification done. So that's a requirement for all the police to have done by the state under the Illinois Training and Standards Board. I don't know, are you guys required for that? Okay, well, you soon will. Okay, so anyway, Officer Cox, he can train and get the certifications, or if Cody and his guys want to carry an AED or Penny, or people want to carry one as well. So we have the ability to do that. Also, and again, on a very good note, one of our frequent flyers that we've arrested many, many times was just convicted. He went to trial as he does often. And he appeals often, and he's been to prison often. So he was just sentenced today at 1:30. State's Attorney's Office requested 25 years, and the judge gave him 13 years, which I'm good with. And that was for unlawful, he was found guilty of unlawful restraint. And there were other charges too, involved in that. That case alone was a very serious case. We had multiple agencies here, to assist us in that. It turned out where the good guys got hurt and nor did he. So it actually turned out perfect. He took it to trial. Today was his sentencing. So he got 13 years. Congratulations. So I.
Thank you, chief.
You're welcome.
Cody, streets and alleys.
My bad, I have one other thing.
Okay.
Sorry, forgot. Last Monday, there was a lady and a couple of gentlemen that were here about speeding on Oak School Road.
Oak Grove.
That road too, it's disgusting. So she was talking about signs and that type of thing. I had talked to Mr. Trinket last year, and I've mentioned this before, we have those signs on Route 4. My intent, when I get the money, but they're expensive. These signs are about somewhere between $3,000 to $4,000 a piece. And there's yearly fee for the data, which I think is $500 per sign. Once I get the money, I will, my intent is to put a couple of signs on Belleville, put a couple signs on Monroe, and one out their way too, but they're costly. So, because there's an annual fee of $500 just for the data per sign per year. Is that going to stop the speeding? No, it is not. But it will slow some people down. It even slows me down, because they got them all over Belleville. And I won't be paying attention. All of a sudden that red thing starts flashing. I know I'm speeding and I slow down. So it will slow a lot of people down, but it's not going to fix the problem. It's just another tool that we can use as the police to help try to knock the speeders down. So please be patient. We will get them. I just don't know when I'm going to get the money. Okay. Sorry.
Just gotta piggyback off on Chief. I do wanna kind of put him in the situation a little bit here. I've noticed a lot of people, I know you're getting out and cutting your grass, everybody's excited for the next 6 to 8 months. Keep your excitement to your yard. I don't wanna sweep your grass out of my streets. You have to keep doing this. Sure, the police would love to give you a ticket. Not only is it a city violation, but it's also a state violation. And if a motorcycle or a kid or anybody slips and falls on a bike and your grass is out on the road, you'll be getting more than just a city citation. You're actually causing harm to the motoring public. With that being said, also, if you have sticks in your yards and you have city trees in your front property, do us another favor. Please put your sticks at the edge of your property and your grass so that I don't get a call at 2:30 in the morning that someone's dragging a limb down Belleville Street because you put the stick out in the road and they ran it over. Now there's injured property and other people. So that's all I have is, I understand it's that time of year, but put it to the edge of your yard. I promise we'll come get it as long as it's a city tree. No, we're not gonna come in your backyard and pick a limb up that fell. It has to be city property or city tree. Beyond that, I'd be glad to come up. We have a city sick well sitting right here by Mr. Farrow. And we can go out and tell you what it is. Some roads are 50 feet, some roads are 30 feet, some roads are 15 feet. So bear with us, just call in extension 107. Be glad to figure out if it's our tree or not. We'll go from there.
Cody, can those limbs be burned on your property?
I do believe it's the limbs, but not the leaves. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm talking about limbs, the wooden limbs.
I do believe the wooden limbs you can burn. It's under water bill. Correct, if I'm wrong there. Should be under water bill, burning dates. I don't know. I live out of town.
He wanted to know if they could burn them on our property.
No, you cannot burn on city property.
No, I'm talking about burning them
He
on
said
under your.
He said your property, Cody, so
Yeah,
can we bring
my
him out?
property.
Can we bring him
My
out there?
property is also not available. With that being said, that is a good reminder. If you have any leaves or anything in your property, do not blow them out into the ditch. Mr. Terry Weil is not here tonight, and I see him every time it rains because Harmon Drive floods, and Mr. Farrell can point out to this. He almost has beachfront property. There's 15, 20 feet across the road. That is one inlet, and every time it rains, it never fails. It clogs up. We'll clean the ditch out. Everyone cleans their leaves in the ditch. And that's overtime that we're spending cleaning ditches out instead of paving roads and making sidewalks better. Thank you.
Penny, you're behind the post. I see you.
I have nothing.
Okay. The building inspector will do his report the fourth meeting of the month, so he has nothing tonight. Unfinished business, anybody have anything? New business, discuss and approve the signing of the agreement with IDOT for utility obligations for installation of the sewer line from the main to the building at 800 McAllister.
So Sherry, for number one, I'm gonna request, go to number two, request to go into executive session under 5 ILCS 120, section 2C1, the Open Meeting Act, consideration of employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine validity.
Don't we have to do number one before we go to that?
No, we're gonna go into executive session and then we can come back and talk about more. But we need the exemption for, do you have that one?
Yeah,
Can I have it?
I just have a minor question. Do we have to read that whole thing every time we want to go into executive session?
Yes.
I mean, we can automatically put it in the minutes, but just the reading of it seems redundant.
Well,
Yes.
get ready for the redundant.
Okay,
Sorry, are we gonna then openly discuss the issue back after the executive session then?
We'll see.
Oh,
I thought that's what we're talking about
We
here.
need to go into executive session based upon the threat of imminent litigation. Charlie, please
Okay.
read that.
not a threat. I mean, it's just what it is. But we're on the agenda.
we need to get this figured out.
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
agenda for tonight.
We gotta talk about
They're
this.
being heard, we need to be
Yeah.
heard.
Hey, hang on, guys. Request to go into executive session under 5 ILCS 120, section 2C11 of the Open Meeting Act to consider litigation when an action against affecting or on behalf of a particular city body or public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
Want to go to the back?
Yeah, we will go to the back. We will be, oh, well.
We have to have a motion to do this.
Well, I'm answering mine. Second, somebody?
Okay, Stevenson,
Here.
yes.
Yeah.
Trinka,
yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Bill. King,
Yes, I guess.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we're going to executive. I don't have any candy left, or we pass it
Oh,
on.
man, we can't have an. Well, Mr. Trinka and Mr. Bennett.
Good opportunity. I'm so gonna say, sorry, Charlie.
You got that, Gail?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Some should do that.
That's where I'll just go a new one.
Okay, here's Mr. Bennett. I don't know where Mr. Trinka is.
Was waiting for him to finish. There was a line.
Justin was on.
You're on the body.
But you gotta get all of them. in the- What are they?
Is there one back there? Or is it locked down?
I think there's one in Cody's place. I don't know.
Yeah, there's one back there.
Yeah, actually, did they?
Just on here. That would make Oh, me too. You told me you did.
That was Mr. Dale coming out.
They are, they're excited for your return.
Yeah, because we want to go home.
We're gonna do roll call for return from executive session to enter regular session.
Is that how long?
So do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, roll call to come back from executive session.
Belkey,
Here.
Bennett,
Here.
Cornish,
Here, yes.
Farrell,
Here.
Stevenson,
Here.
Trinka,
Here.
Washington. Here. Whitty.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, we need a motion to discuss, approve the signing of an agreement with IDOT for utility obligations for installation of sewer line from the main to the building at 800 West McAllister, also known as Creekside.
Yeah,
I will make a motion.
wait a minute, okay. Second. Well,
Well, here's the language.
okay, wait a minute. 'Cause
To approve signing an agreement with IDOT for utility obligations for installation of sewer line from the main to the building at 800 West McAllister with these four additions. First of all, a $100,000 bond. The use of interlocking pipe under the highway. An indemnity to hold harmless be included in this. And the city will allow a tap into the existing manhole on the north side of Route 50 at no charge.
That was his motion. Ms. Washington, second.
The bond.
And the 5-year. 5-year, $100,000 bond.
So that's the amendment, so yeah, we vote that.
That was
There's
it.
an amendment. The bond was in my motion, I just didn't have the
Years.
years. 5 years.
So are we amending that motion with the 5-year?
We are amending the motion that's on the agenda with this amendment.
Right,
Okay.
We're gonna
That's
vote
5
that,
year.
and then we'll vote the original as amended.
right.
We can have clarity on
Yeah,
this
can
thing.
we, is it talking about us,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
What is this bond you're talking about?
Is that on us or you guys?
The,
You want me to explain that?
please, you behind the pole.
So IDOT, when we spoke with them, said that a lot of times there's a stipulation put on the contractor, so that bond would be for litigant. For them to post $100,000 bond, which does not, sounds like a lot of money, but it,
It's more than I make in 3 years.
No, no.
no, it doesn't
Doesn't-
cost them $100,000.
Doesn't cost us.
Just the bond is for that. So do you remember what the $100,000 bond cost the last time? I mean, those are the same ones that guys who come in and put a sewer line in the city post. So that bond would then stay with IDOT, or it covers 5 years basically to cover their construction. I spoke with Livingston today about that because, and he said that's no problem.
The 5-year.
They probably already have that bond because they do work all over the place. But I did speak with him about that today because I knew that was something that was probably gonna be discussed here tonight. Told him that we had found the manhole. There's a manhole directly across from the property. And then he could probably go directly into that, which then hopefully would also save some money on his end to you.
Okay.
And that's why this is, because IDOT actually mentioned it to us that the bond could be part of our agreement. So that's why it's being discussed, because it takes some of the liability away from the city for the construction of something that we're not constructing. So
Okay.
that's why.
Litigant was okay with the 5 year.
In the box.
Yeah, I can't say that we talked, I think I said 5 years to him. I know I said $100,000 bond. I think that's just a common thing for them to be 5 years. He didn't seem to have a problem with that.
What if he is not agreeable to that?
What?
Then it would not.
We have to call him, right?
Well, only thing is, because when I talked to him last week, he just said they bonded insured for a year after install, and then after a year, they were out.
Tara is the one that
That's what I
told
wanted
me
to make
5.
sure.
Yeah, Karen
Tara told me 5.
is the one who suggested the 5 year $100,000.
And I understand that, but what if Litigant would not be agreeable to that, then what is the deal? That we're right when we started again?
Yes, by contact that would be. I will tell you, sorry, the last 100,000 5-year bonds that I sold, because we sold them, it was not for plumbing, but it was like $30. So even though it's for 100,000, it's like an insurance policy, so they're not paying this huge amount,
Right.
so it's probably something you would be able to work out with them, and they may charge you a little bit more, I don't know, but they shouldn't charge you astronomically more, because it's not an uncommon thing, and it usually is very
Okay.
inexpensive for bonds in comparison to the coverage that you're getting.
All right.
Just to.
Now,
share
the
that
whole
with you.
harmless, explain, how long that would be in effect, or where, what part of the lines?
So the way that IDOT explained how the liability flows on this from the permit is, if there's a problem with, the line that runs under 50, Lebanon would be responsible for fixing whatever issue there is with the line and or the road or whatever would occur from this line. And then it would be Lebanon's responsibility to go after whoever it was that currently held the liability for that line. So we would write up, there's already language that was suggested to be put into the IDOT application. We could use that language and then a couple more paragraphs and basically just record something against the property that said that if there are any issues that would cause the city of Lebanon to have to pay to fix 50, that whoever it was that was responsible for the line at that time would be responsible to pay Lebanon back.
And that's after the 5 years.
Do you maintain, Northtown sewer?
Yeah.
And that was private lines, Brand. So,
I think, I don't know. Penny, were they both?
It was done by a private contractor for a subdivision, but then the city accepts those lines, excuse me, accepts those lines after the subdivision is finished, and that is a main sewer line. It is not a private sewer line.
But Lebanon still signed off on it. That's what.
right, so we need to be responsible for lines on Lebanon's property.
It is not Lebanon's property.
It's Lebanon's easement that our line goes into in Rich Haynes Cornfield.
It's easement.
Yeah, but that's not ours. You guys have the right to the easement.
Okay, that's it.
Was I clear that this is just for the part that goes under 50? Charlie asked me to clarify.
Okay, so under 50, so when it
Yeah, this
connects
stuff-
over 50, all that side in Rich Haynes Field is your responsibility?
No, the hold harmless is only applicable to what the city of Lebanon would be responsible for to fix any damage that IDOT would require us to
So
make.
everything that goes into Rich's Field is gonna be Lebanon's responsibility?
No.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
So-
Under 50 in Rich's Field,
It's our responsibility.
the whole line.
Everything, the whole
So, okay, so basically, if it's my responsibility, I'm going in the other guy's field, is that my field then now?
Yeah, do we own the
Do I
easement
own
now?
that?
No, but it's not ours either.
no.
Well, but it's-
It's
the
our property
or
underneath
asset.
it. In that line, legally, I got something going underneath that guy's ground. And it's on it's my
And we're
responsibility,
maintaining the property.
it's my thing, I do not want him to go across it.
Yeah, I don't want the
I don't
farmer
want
on
him to
it.
drive 100,000 pound tractor across that thing and destroy it.
Absolutely not.
Somebody's gotta be
Well,
liable
it
for
should
that.
be quite a few,
That's a
feet
private
underneath.
property. issue. We don't have-
else got a response to that.
Unfortunately, if we don't own the land, if we don't have fee simple title to that land, if someone else does, and we only have an easement, we have no control over that. I apologize. That's whoever owns the land.
So then take our sewer down to Mark Brower then, on the same side of the road.
It's over 1,800 feet.
And.
Yeah,
only
that's
4
us.
feet, You can't get in there.
You guys just voted for a tip zone all around us and we're not gonna put sewer out there? We're trying to get people to develop all around our business, but we're
We
not
have
gonna bring
4
sewer lines.
families that are involved in this,
Right,
hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we have nowhere
Yeah.
to flush our shit.
I just.
That's all we're
yeah,
asking
right.
to do.
I just don't understand how you voted yes for a tip to wanna develop this whole area. And then we're on our own.
We just
But-
wouldn't have done this had we
Yeah.
known that we couldn't get sewer. We don't have the money for this.
I mean, we're.
You guys don't even want new businesses in this town.
Yeah.
You guys like wanna make everybody disappear and go away, and that's what's gonna happen to us.
What's happening?
We're the millionaires.
Not everybody.
Yeah, not everybody.
I'm not saying not everybody,
Not all of you.
but
Not everybody.
it's sad.
Not everybody.
How are they supposed to maintain something that is on your guys' easement? How are you not supposed to take that over when it's an extension to the main? When the ordinance reads as an extension to the main has to be taken over by the city once it says it could set their cost, but then you guys have to take it over once it's completed.
That's not
It's-
true.
How
It's
is
in
that?
the ordinance.
It's in the ordinance.
It's in the city
It
ordinance.
says a main lateral or lateral extension, which is a main line extension from the main.
We are trying to
I took
redefine
it
it.
right out of the ordinance. The words that I sent to them was right out of the ordinance and how it reads in the ordinance. There's nothing that I said.
Does it not say
I'm not
lateral
trying to keep
extension?
you guys from having sewer. I want you to have sewer too.
Okay.
There's only a way to get it there. If you wanna wait 6 to 18
We
months.
don't have that
that's
time.
That's why we're trying to go forward with this.
We're exhausted of this.
They're willing
What
to
would
sign
you
this.
suggest we do?
Move forward. We'll take
We've been
care of
trying
it.
to.
We'll sign it, we'll sign it.
Yes,
Okay,
they're all
all right.
signed up for this.
We're gonna, you guys sign the permit, something comes up, and it's great.
No, that is. What? No, we're not, no.
We're not agreeing to that.
We're not signing anything yet because you guys are trying to put liability on us, on someone
I
else's
just call
property.
it, who cares?
I mean, it's not, yeah, you guys are trying to get us to maintain someone else's property.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
I'm confused by how all the aldermen are agreeing that it says lateral extension, but you guys are all sitting here allowing us to agree that we're not gonna maintain or take that over once it's done. I understand to the highway, but past that, it's in a city easement and
We're
it's
not
going
even
to other
asking for
people's
payment at this
property.
point. We just want it done right. And what's fair and legal.
Everybody's shaking their head, yes, they all agree, so I don't understand how you all aren't saying something that it says the lateral extension.
Who runs the city? Does the lawyer run the city? Or do you all run the city? Who runs this thing here?
I voted for.
Whose
you
vote
guys
is this?
to make that with it.
Does he tell you guys what to say and what to agree on?
No, not me.
No.
Yeah.
Not telling
That's
us.
what it sounds like, other than Sean.
Is just giving us legal advice that you guys don't wanna hear.
Legal advice, okay, but what is right? Is another
But
thing.
we've also received legal advice and what he's saying and what a different lawyer is saying is not lining up.
And I can tell you, my attorney said the same thing when I was in a lawsuit with the city too. We would have won it, but we didn't have time to fight it, and it says lateral extension in there, and they backed me on that too, and you all can read, it says lateral
Don't say
extension.
you all.
Yeah, I know, I'm saying
say
you're
one
reading it
guy.
right now. You're,
Just-
I'm saying you're involved in this one right now, and the ordinance in front of you says lateral extension. This part does involve you.
Yeah,
Mine, you are not involved in,
You said
but
yours.
it's the same ordinance that my attorney was involved in too. It's the same ordinance. This is the second time it's become an issue that now has attorney involved. All of our attorneys said the same damn thing. You guys, half the aldermen are shaking their head, yes, then it says extension on there.
Can I ask a question? Is it a matter of money? Why Lebanon doesn't want to be responsible for that? I mean, I'm probably a stupid question, but that is a question. Is it a matter of that? Is it a matter of why, of money? We have to be responsible for all
This is
that?
such a horrible way to start a business relationship with a town that we're about to pour
We've
tax
been here
dollars
forever.
into.
Sure is.
And that we've been pouring tax dollars into with Eclipse Salon and VIP Golfers Cast for over 20 years.
And then this.
Great way to keep other businesses from coming
Yes.
here too.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to keep us from ever opening another one here again.
If we even get to.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're literally
yeah,
gonna put
yeah.
a sale sign on this
Yeah.
building, man.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a really dangerous question. Stay on your side of the fences. Is this all because it's a private line? Is that why we, the city cannot take it over from the point off of their property?
Underneath, but yes, it serves no one other than one business. If it was a main line, a city main, a lateral extension off of the main, which would still be a main line used by other people, not a split connection. That is, if it was a main or a lateral connection to a main, which would still be a main line that anybody else could connect onto, the city would then be.
Why couldn't it be?
Okay.
Because they can't have a 2-inch line, and it can't be a 2-inch line under the highway that main line would require an IDOT permit.
Do we need an IDOT permit to run to Martin Brower?
I'm sorry,
Do
yes,
we need a EPA permit to run to Martin Brower?
with a private line,
No, with a city line from Creekside to Martin Brower.
we couldn't do it. It's not deep enough. It's 4 foot deep.
Okay, I got something to say. Can I say something? Okay, so what if we do this? What if we get that 2-inch line underneath the highway, then you guys actually start your process of developing sewer on our property. Then we'll get rid of the lift station, hook onto the sewer property and not be done with it ever again.
And the TIF zone would then have sewer
Would
on the
that
other
work?
side of the road.
Would that work, lawyer, attorney? I'm asking you, you got opinion on it?
I'm not gonna answer a hypothetical
Penny's
question,
gonna answer.
sorry.
Penny has to answer
It's logical, it's just common sense. You guys can put sewer over there in 6 months, a year. Why can't we hook onto that sewer then?
Can I ask what the obligation is on the city to run sewer line to property line? What is the city's obligation for that? In a normal setting, what is the obligation that the city has to run sewer lines to existing property lines? We are in city limits. We're not in Timbuktu. We are in city limits. What is the city's obligation to run sewer lines to your property line?
Penny? You're the one that knows.
Without reading the exact language, I believe it says something to the effect that if sewer is not accessible, that the property owner can put sewer in at their expense, and then the city can take that over.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
That's right.
1,000, everybody in this room just heard that, correct? Okay.
Sewer is available.
I think the problem that you're gonna have though is to have that done, it's gonna take longer than they have to.
Exactly.
Which I understand, but we've been asking for a clarification on the sewer since October 25th, and it's almost May.
So let's put that 2-inch line in, that we've discussed, we'll get the permit, then hook on to the main sewer when you guys bring sewer onto our side of the property,
Where are you gonna put the 2-inch line?
underneath the highway.
Oh, okay.
That way.
Underneath the highway
So
to
you can
the
start.
manhole,
Yeah,
to the manhole.
yeah, it's a manhole, and then, cause I know like, in that marsh, they put one in, and it's lasted 21 years, and it's.
Penny, you got that? They put in the 2-inch line underneath the manhole?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking to like, I don't know, a host.
Okay.
Okay, underneath the manhole, they put the 2-inch line, they connect it to the manhole.
No, underneath the
I mean,
highway.
underneath the highway to connect
To
it,
the
it's
man.
late, folks, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And then you run regular sewer from,
Your manhole, aren't you guys gonna develop all that eventually?
That's what.
You're looking in the wrong direction. Look out there.
No, the TIF map that was just approved.
Yeah.
Is our general area.
So he's asking you guys to expand that line through the TIF monies, expand that line up through there to service all those properties, and when you do, they get to connect to it.
Yes.
And then they abort what they did and they get to connect to it for free.
you got what there's here, that's sewer and water sewer is not my gig. You got what they're talking?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically asking us to do the same thing that we would have done if we had 6 to 18 months right now waiting. If they could wait 6 to 18 months right now, we would have chose to put a sewer main across there for them.
Can any of you council members open a business that you've invested $1 million into and wait over 18 months to open?
Nope. Even 6 months.
Nope.
We don't even have.
And you don't
that.
ever wake up.
So that doesn't look good.
It's the long draft again.
Don't have anything to do with the
What-
EPA. That's,
What they're asking,
that's 6 to 18 months is the EPA. We don't.
as long as
We
they're
understand.
I've
they're
never heard of a business being.
they're
closed for 2
asking to
years.
run their
You know what I mean?
personal
Like,
lines now.
2 years.
And you guys
I've never heard that in my
start
life.
running the city line.
Both processes will happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Can they change that once they put a personal line in? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes, they would have to cap it off.
They cap it off, they put it in, and they go. And now they're good. And
That could even probably be part of the city's contract at the time, personally, because most likely that would be right where that manhole is, where the last one crossed line, because that manhole already exists. So, could the city do that? Absolutely. If people want to vote to start that process, then absolutely can start that process.
Okay, so we've got a motion out here, I think. Yeah. So we would probably have to,
Sorry, just one more thing. I would suggest that if you're gonna do that, you look at it being in the next, whatever time frame you wanna set, whether it be, this bond is good for 5 years, put it in that 5-year period. Are you looking to,
We're looking to do it immediately. We're looking to be open in 2 months.
I know you
Oh,
are,
okay.
but you're still
Okay.
talking about running your 2-inch line.
Yes.
Your 2-inch line is gonna be there, done, you're gonna be in operation.
Yeah.
Out of the picture. Then the city starts that process to run the main line over there. At that same time, you could, like I said, if it goes off of that manhole, you could make it part of that contract to cap this line off and retie them in on the other side. You could even do that at the city's expense if you wanted to put that as part of the contract. Because you're, tying it in obviously farther down the line than you would have liked to initially. But whether that became part of the contract or not is something that needs to be decided later, but that could happen. Yes, it's a possibility to do that, if we started, today.
Might be a year, might be.
8 months, might be,
Yeah.
could be a year, could be, if the city needs to put it in, it's not in this year's budget, we need to budget it next year.
Yeah.
So it might be 2 years before it got there, but in the meantime, they've still got sewer. So you're thinking ahead for some development over there still. They eventually would get rid of the liability for it being in the field. You would have that for the first 2 years. The likelihood of something happening in the first 2 years is. not
Yeah, unlikely.
Good.
Because Nemark said they got one in there, went down 2.5 miles, and it was been 21 years, nothing, knock on wood, nothing happened. It's been great.
Yeah, it's not that anybody anticipates something happening. It's just
Yeah.
anytime the city takes on liability, you have to look at the liability and they need to vote on that. So.
Yeah. So we do that process. And we do that. Would the city be willing to help us out anyway now with that? With our,
there's nothing, we would not charge you for a tap. But unfortunately, because of the way
Okay.
sewer and water are, that we can't give back
that's
on
fine,
them.
yeah, okay, but I do want the other process to go. the Sewer.
Well, that needs to be in the contract.
I would, if, depending on how they vote,
Oh,
I would sign the permits myself.
okay.
So we just need the vote.
Well, we have this original statement with this amendment that we.
Oh, yeah, you gotta amend it.
So we've got to make sure that these things are proper what they want to do. Just-
Yeah, can I just share with us, for sharing purposes, this is exactly what, and I'm not trying to go back on this, I'm just saying, this is what we offered to do on my property, was to extend it over, and it was turned down at that point, but what happened is if you guys remember the whole debacle with the food plate, what was it called? On McCleary's property that had to get out because they didn't have
The
water.
produce.
Yes, 6 months after the previous council voted down when I offered to extend it, 6 months later, you had a business that was willing to come to town and had to leave because you didn't have water, because we didn't run infrastructure within that TIF district in being proactive. So what they're offering you is to not let that happen again. And at their own expense, they're allowing you guys to extend and develop that so that when all these properties in this TIF goes through, y'all aren't in that position that they were in with all of that happened down there. So I just wanna share that so that you guys will keep that in mind, that you're passing this tip and you want these people to come and develop. This is honestly the best option that they're giving the city, and the city is winning in this, not them in any way. So that you guys should take that and with as much gratitude as you possibly can, in my personal opinion.
And proactive.
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, George, would you restate the
amendment to what's in the agenda on the proposal is that there will be 4 conditions: a 5-year, $100,000 bond, the use of interlocking pipe going underneath the highway, an indemnity clause, hold harmless.
Which is already in there.
It's already in there. And then, we will allow them to tap in to the manhole that exists along Route 50 at no charge.
anything else? Can miss anything?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call. That's just for the, what's
Amendment.
in here and the amendment to it. Let's go with Belkey,
Yep.
Bennett,
Yes.
Cornish,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was expecting to know, I'm sorry. Trinka,
Yes.
Washington. And Whitty,
Yes.
okay.
Now we need
That's
something
the
else.
amendment, so
As amended.
now we have to have a motion for what's in here as amended.
I move approval of the signing an agreement, first my thing here, with IDOT for utility obligations for installation of sewer line from the main to the building at 800 West Mountain, McAllister, as amended.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Put these down. Okay, Bennett.
Yes.
Cornish.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
Trinka.
Yes.
Washington. Whitty.
Yes.
Belkey.
Yes.
Well, just right, good night. So I will sign the permit.
Perfect. Thank you.
We will get it back to litigant? Huh? Nedmeyer. I knew I had to guess the name. We have to get it back to Nedmeyer. They say,
We may just send it directly to IDOT, depending.
I'll call Tara in the morning and ask her if I can,
Thank you very much.
so,
Thank you, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
good night, have a good night.
Great night.
Oh, adjournment.
I move a German voice vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Wait a minute, you can't vote.
Oh, I'm gonna give the compliment here.
So, all in favor?
Chop, chop. Yes, no. Come on, do you wanna go home? Say yes or no.
All opposed?
Do that, Shay.